Doing another impromptu live. Debbie Sue said she might come on and help me out because I'm not good at moderating. I'm frustrated right now because I just got a text from somebody who was going to pick up my mom's furniture, and he decided it wasn't a good idea for him to do it now. And we made sure we were home so that I could do that with him. So, hey Debbie Sue, thanks for coming on. I know we were on Dora's, but I just have a little bit of time here myself to do a live. And I was going to put my microphone on so everybody could hear me clearly, but my phone was dying, so I have to put a charging block on it. That's my life right now. And I was just saying that, and you'll hear my dog barking, and thank God he's barking today because yesterday he wasn't getting up. He's 14 years old and he is not doing well, to say the least. So I won't make a dog suffer. So I said if he's not doing well by Monday or Tuesday, then it will be his time. But he just hasn't had bodily functions he hasn't peed. He did once yesterday, but in 3 days, that one time. But he's had the other end going. So I don't know if he's dehydrated, but we're not going to be putting a lot of money into. He's 14 and he's a German Shepherd. So, you know, even the vet said last time we took him for his just regular checkup, he goes, you know, you've made it past most milestones for a dog this size. Oh, Polly, you're here. Thank you. This was a spur of the moment because I was going to put my phone, I'm going to say megaphone. Hi, James. I was going to put my microphone on, but I didn't because my phone was going to die and I had to put a charging block on it, so I can't put both on there. Hi, Zoocram. And I was just telling Debbie Sue how my dog is not doing well, but he started barking today, so that's one step in the right direction. Oh, Rosani, how are you? I've missed talking with you. Rosani's my new friend, guys, and she does some really great things on her channel. You'll have to check it out. She does paper mache, and it's awesome. Awesome stuff. And it's almost like I can't watch a whole lot because I do watch. I binge watched a lot of her stuff, but I get so tempted to start new crafting ideas. And for those of you that know me for any amount of time, if I see a craft idea, I don't just do a little bit. I go to the store and I buy every single thing I need to do every single thing that I could possibly want to do with that craft. And my craft room has outnumbered me again. And Rosani, back about 6 months ago, I cleaned out my craft room and I would take stuff to this store, not the store I did a video on like last month, but a different store where you can take it and donate and they weigh it for you, and then they punch card a punch card so that when you get so many punches, then you can get free something. And I weighed, I think it was 900 and some odd pounds total. And yeah, that's how much I got rid of. So I'm starting to feel like all that's collecting again. Yeah, I needed a dedicated craft room, and mine ended up being the kids' what was their game room when they were little. So it's the size of a 2.5 car garage upstairs, and I have built-in shelves. I'm very fortunate to have it, but you know, the more space you have, the more crud you can collect, and it's overwhelming. I really have to decide what kind of crafts I want to do. So, you know, you guys, in the last 48 hours, I have found myself in drama that seems like a teenage drama. It's ridiculous. Why do women have to feel the need to act like they're in high school about things that are so trivial when there's so many important things in life to do? I don't think men do this kind of thing. I could be wrong. If there's any men out here, let me know. But I have who I thought was a friend from years and years ago, and I told a story this summer about a summer at camp, and she found out that I told the owner about something that had happened, and it was surrounding her and a couple other people, and she was in trouble at the time. And I was told to tell the owner because my boss in the office, I worked in the office at the time. I wasn't teaching kids. I might have taught a class or so, but I worked in the office. And I didn't live near all these people. Like, they were considered the North Shore of Chicago people. And I wasn't in that clique. I didn't fit in. And so I would never have known where these girls were going. They said they were going on a college trip, and they were going to a Grateful Dead concert. And how would I know, like, that they were lying? You know, I didn't have that intel. And so somebody found out, and my boss said, you have to talk to the owner. And so I did what I was told to do. And so years later, 40 years later now, I told the story to one of the two girls that was involved, and one of the two girls is actually married to the owner now. But the one girl couldn't be there, and she texted me this week, like Friday night, whatever Halloween was, Friday night, and she read me the riot act, saying that she was the only person that stood behind me my last summer because I had done something really stupid, and she was my co-counselor, and how could I be so ruthless and try to get her kicked out of camp? And if she was at that dinner that I was at, she had paid for a dinner when I went visiting up north, and it was very, very kind of her. And I went and bought this Grateful Dead record, and I made like a backpack, and I was doing a really cute kind of tongue-in-cheek gift for her and for her cohort, and just, you know, kind of funny, but it was a heartfelt thank you. And she wouldn't give me her address, and I couldn't figure out why. Well, I didn't know she was mad about this, and she wouldn't tell me. And so then Friday night, she spills the beans in a very nasty text. And this was in the middle of my dog, so I wasn't texting fast enough. And she said, "Oh, so you can't even defend yourself, can you?" And I just said, you know, first of all, I would have never have said anything had I have thought you would still hold a grudge. And second of all, we'll never know because my boss, who was one of my best friends at camp, passed away. I said, so we'll just have to wait until we go to the grave to find out from Marion if she's the one that told me, because that's the only person that will ever know. And she just kept belittling me, and I said, listen, Marty, I have a dog that's pretty much dying, and this is really childish. And she said, it's not childish if you're the one that was getting kicked out. And I'm like, how many years ago was that? And did you get kicked out? And how many more years did you go after that? I mean, so stupid. Just so stupid. And I told her, if you would have given me your address, you would have had a nice letter and gift explaining how funny this went down. Because we were laughing about it at dinner. Even the other person that was involved with it was laughing about it. And the owner was laughing about it. Hi, Jennifer. So, regardless, that just made me really sad. And then yesterday, you guys know how I worked on my booth forever. I worked 3 full days not getting paid, but just sitting in my booth, like pricing things and getting the right things together and then organizing it. And then yesterday was the first, and nobody could understand why we had to get all of our fall decorations out and decorate for Christmas on the 1st, because it was the open house on the 1st. And so I am, Jennifer, I'm sorry. And my boss, I work to pay for my booth. Like, so I don't get paid, but my payment is to work to pay for my booth. And I kept asking her for hours, and she didn't give me any hours for October. So I have to pay in full my November rent, and I didn't even make that much money. I didn't make enough to pay for my November rent. And I asked, could I at least work open house, because it's like a big deal. Like, people come in and we get door prizes, and it's just a high energy. And she never got back to me. And I texted her last week and I said, well, you never got back to me, so I want you to know I left 2 door prizes wrapped, and I gave you some cola since you didn't tell me what you needed. And I had the sign to put up in my booth because I thought we were all going to vote on it yesterday. That's clearly what it sounded like. And I said yesterday afternoon, and I told her in a text. Okay, yeah, she texted me at 8 o'clock yesterday morning. The store opens at 10. And she said, would you be able to come in and work today? Well, I wanted to say no, just because she, that's usually how she'll ask me to work, is the day of. But I wasn't gonna look a gift horse in the mouth, and I said, of course. And I, went and threw on my face and threw on some clothes, and I went with a smile on my face. And then I said later on in the day to the assistant manager, Jenny, when do we vote? And she goes, well, voting already took place. It closed yesterday. And I said, yesterday, which would have been Friday, I said, I was still putting my booth together, and my boss was right there. She came and saw me sitting on the floor in my booth, getting everything ready. It wasn't fully decorated, and it sounds really childish that I'm getting upset about this, but it was like $100 towards my rent for next month. So yeah, my open house was yesterday, and I sold a lot of stuff, and which is great. Can't complain about that. I sold more yesterday than I did in my last pay period, which is fabulous. But the thing is that nobody that worked yesterday knew that voting had already taken place. And the people that worked yesterday were friends of mine that didn't decorate their booths, and they all would have voted for my booth because it was optional if you were going to decorate. And none of them felt like they could sell their fall items and then get ready for Christmas that fast. So I knew I had people that could vote for my booth. And hey, Mike. And so, yeah, it was a competition throughout the store. And nobody there yesterday knew that they couldn't vote because it had already taken place. And I really got upset, and I was kind of outspoken. I told the assistant manager, I said, well, that's a really dumb policy that we have to get rid of all of our fall stuff before fall is done being sold, and then get up our holiday stuff, and you guys vote on it before the open house. I said, who does that? And she goes, I know, I didn't make the rule. And I said, I'm not yelling at you. And then I went over to a couple other people on the floor, and I just said, did you know we can't vote? And they were like, no. And so I was just very loud. And then I get this, kiss-ass text today. I know our customers enjoy interacting with you. And I'm like, okay, so did I win the $100? No. So it is just hard when unemployment ran out. But whatever. I'm in one of those moods. Sorry, guys. I have a video coming up about gurus. I know, Paula, you like to hear about gurus, but I actually went on a 2-hour Zoom call with a guy who has a company. Beamy, you're okay. You're okay. Sorry, my dog is out here with me getting some fresh air. His eyes are so sad and sunken in. And it was a really good program. I'm not even going to name the program. It's not name-worthy, and I don't want to slam it. But yet also I don't want to give it credit, because he told us a price, and it was expensive, but it wasn't horribly expensive, because I know that, some of these coaching companies expect a lot of money. But it was within my means that I could scrape together some money and possibly do it, because he said there is possible payment plans. And so I made a one-on-one call with a team member, and basically this team member said to me, I swear to you, he, got a feel for my channel, and he was really forcing me to come down to what exactly I wanted to talk about. And I told him what it was, and I said, I don't want to make my channel about Parkinson's. And he was kind of pushing me towards that. I said, that doesn't define me. And I said, I can make videos about it, but it doesn't define me. And then he came out and he says, well, do you have a time limit? And I said, do you mean did they give me a prognosis? And he goes, well, yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, is he asking that because am I a good candidate for their company? I'm like, that's my first thought. And I'm like, no, he didn't really mean that. And then lo and behold, we get a little further into the conversation, and I told him, times are tough, and I said, $1,000 is hard to come by, when I'm trying to pay for my medication and such. And he goes, no, the program's $6,000. And I said, what? I said, I guarantee you those 500 people on that call are not thinking it was $6,000, because they were all asking questions kind of regarding around $1,000. And this guy was saying, no, you can do like $100 payments, but it's on a circumstantial, situation, and we would talk to you about it. And so he said to me, when I told him $6,000 is just not going to do it, I wouldn't have scheduled this call. I'm sorry to take up your time. And he goes, what's more important, your medicine or growing your channel? I said, what? I said, if that's your way of selling things, you hit a raw nerve, buddy, and I no longer have any desire to talk to you. And he goes, well, you've got to make money if you're going to pay your bills. Yep. So I turned around and I wrote a letter to the person that his channel and his, he's in charge of all this. And I get an email, which is basically, was a mass email about how people waste time. It was a mass email, but it says, Dear Allison, why are you wasting your time? And I know it was a mass email, but when it says, Dear Allison, why are you wasting your time? I said, obviously you have never read your emails, your incoming emails. I wrote you a letter yesterday explaining what happened on my call. Oh, and after the call, you get a summarization, because it's AI, AI directed. They summarize your call. And the summarization of that call was not in the corrective situation it was. It was basically putting him in a good light. And he said, and Allison decided to end the call because the price was too much. And I'm like, no, Allison decided to end the call because you told me that it would be more important for me to spend my money on your program than my medication. And I was just like, and so then in that letter I said, you can't even, that person even wrote the wrong reason of me leaving that conversation and blah, blah, blah. I've never gotten a letter back, nor do I ever think I will get a letter back from them. But I made sure, because he has another free call, like Zoom call. I believe his technique is definitely worth it. I definitely see where things will turn around for my channel, because he gives you the 3-step process, like what is going to work, and I do believe in it. I'm not gonna lie. And they give you, for being on it, one of their AI programs that they built just for being on the call, and then for meeting with them they give you the scriptwriter AI. But I didn't even ask for it. I was so mad, and I was supposed to get it, but I did not ask for it. I'm like, I don't want any part of this. My morals are higher than what this person was acting like, I do believe his product is good, and his theory behind becoming successful is good, but with somebody that represents his company like that, no. So I don't know if I've just got all this bad energy flowing through my veins right now, that, with my dog having such problems, and then the boss at work you know, treating me in an odd way, and then me getting my feelings hurt so easily. I don't know. I gotta reset myself big time. And I have to get some sleep, but I can't sleep when my dog needs to go out like every 10 minutes, so. Like the live friends. Oh, thank you, Paula, reminding people to like it. That's Paula, thanks for putting the little poop emojis, because it just, I know you're saying the person is a poop. I know what you're saying, but my poor dog, that's all my poor dog has been doing, and he won't drink anything, and he's not peeing, so if he doesn't pee by tomorrow, I think he's going to where your cows are going, where your cows went on yonder. He's 14. You're right, Jennifer. I already do feel a little lighter. Just, I'm sorry to burden everybody with this. Not that you guys need it, but, besides that person who I considered a friend for the last, I was 10, I'm going to be 60, for the last 50 years. Even though we didn't speak on a regular basis, we went to summer camp together, but for 50 years I've known her. And then for her to turn on the flip of a dime because of something that happened maybe 40 years ago, and nothing happened, nothing became of what had happened. I'm just like, why? There's so many other things in the world that are so important. And her getting busted for going to a Grateful Dead concert instead of going to a college trip. Yeah, I had a co-counselor at camp, at summer camp. I used to go away to summer camp for 8 weeks out of the summer in northern Wisconsin, and I had a co-counselor one summer. Actually, she was my counselor in training, and I had a really rough summer. I totaled a car that summer, and I just had a really rough summer, and I never fit in with everybody because I didn't live where they lived. I didn't come from money, and they did, and so I didn't know any of them. I went there strictly because I loved where it was, and I just felt so wonderful in nature, and I could be me. I didn't have to fit in with them, but my boss in the office, who was like my best friend, she just passed away last year, but she told me that there's like a group of them that was going to the Grateful Dead concert outside of Chicago, and they told everybody that they were going on college visits because it was the year before, like their junior year in high school. And she told me I had to tell the owner of the camp that they were going to the Grateful Dead concert and not on college trips. And it could have gotten them kicked out of camp. So I told, because my boss told me to. And she texted me Friday night and gave me a rant of all rants. And it was horrible. And my dog, okay, like I'm laying on the floor crying with my dog. And because I didn't respond to her within seconds, she goes, "You can't even defend yourself, can you?" And I'm like, what the? Because I can't type fast enough or get back to you because I'm crying on the floor with my dog. I mean, really? So, anyways, I'd rather... Oh, Jennifer, I think I sent you a picture of... No, I think I put it on my post and I tagged you in it about the eagle. I took the picture of the eagle when I was in Alaska. I don't know if you got a notification that I tagged you in one of my posts on my channel. I wanted to show it to you. It was like one of the only cool pictures I took when I was in Alaska, but it was of a bald eagle, and the wingspan was just massive. And you show us so many awesome pictures of Alaska that is just gorgeous, and I hope I never forget the trip that I went on. Yay, Beamy, you're barking. That's good. I get excited when my dog does just that because it means he has some energy in him. Yeah, I think it's on my post. I did it when I was half asleep just because the dog had me up all night, but I saw the picture in my picture, you know, I don't know if I have a Microsoft and it shows you like what you've done over the years or whatever, and stop, the eagle picture pops up. Beamy, and he's looking in the sky just barking, like I guess he's barking at a plane. Beamy, stop! Stop! I swear he's like barking at my old dog who passed away because he just looks up in the sky and just starts barking. Yeah, the vet tells us the same thing. The vet's like, well, you know, he's made it past all of his milestones, so don't be surprised. I'm like, why do you have to say that to us? I was surprised, Jennifer, just like, you know, here, if we see an eagle down here, it is like the biggest deal. And when we were in Alaska and all the tours we took on in Alaska, there was eagles everywhere. Yeah, I'm in the middle of an airplane. I'm really close to the airport. So, Beamer, stop! So planes go right over us. Oh, you do, Mike? In Minnesota? We didn't even have them in like northern Wisconsin during the summers. We didn't even see that many. So it's really a big deal when we see eagles. But when I was in Alaska, by the end of my trip, it's just like, oh, look, an eagle. Oh, you see the plane? There's another plane. Woo! You said Mississippi River. I was going through my grandmother's like photo book and picture book, and she passed, it doesn't seem like 30 years ago. It was right after Becca was born, and she had us a picture, and on the back it says our house, and then on the back of another picture it says off the Mississippi River. I'm like, I don't know whose house that was, but it was, she didn't say what state it was, and it wasn't. So I have got to get pictures of these, like just take snapshots and print them off and send them to my uncle in Colorado, because he's the only other living person that would know them, but he is not on the internet. He's off grid. He has a landline that was a party line, and so I can't even send him a picture. I have to do it snail mail, and it takes weeks to get to him in the middle of the mountains because I have to get inside because these planes are going crazy, but he lives in the middle of the mountains at Estes Park, and so I gotta find this out, and he's not doing well. He's 80 something. So yeah. Mississippi River. So Mike, you said Mississippi River, and my mind just goes, Mississippi River. So I found all these old pictures. I'm gonna turn a light on here. It's getting dark. That time change last night doesn't affect me, but it certainly affects my dog, or babies, or young children, not babies. Like my daughter said, her baby won't know the difference because it's up all night anyways. But let me turn you around and show you this picture. This is what I got. And it says, our house. I'm like, our house? Whose house is it? And so, like, I found all these pictures. Now, I remember that cat, and that is my grandfather. But I want to know who all these people are. But then I came across this, guys. This is the true pictures. I used to synchronize swim. See, this was our big show. We did one show a year. And we were swimming to the song. Oh, this was the theme, Somewhere in Time. So we even had guys on our team. Yep, we were synchronized swimmers. Yep, there's your girl. So, anyways, that's life. See, I'm all over the place, guys. Thanks. But I couldn't do those moves if I got in my pool now. Sink to the bottom. No, I float. Fat makes you float, right? I float. It was hard to float back then, you know? You had to move your arms back and forth, do a figure 8 to keep your body straight on the water. It was fun. You can't swim, or you just don't like to swim? Or are you afraid of the water? Some people are afraid of the water. Like my mom, she has to sit in a float. Me, I just don't want to get my hair wet. And I'm not vain. That's the funniest part. I never colored my hair for the longest time. I never colored my hair until I was in my late 50s. And so I never had to worry about it. But now I'm so afraid of what would happen to my hair if I get it with the chlorine. Because when my mom was a kid in high school, she colored her hair and it turned green in school when she went in the chlorine. And the principal called her down and said, "Miss Kellerman, you are not this type of girl. You must not come to school with green hair." Where did you grow up, Jennifer? Have you always lived in Alaska? I've been meaning to ask you that. Like, has Alaska been your hometown? Oh, in Vermont. Okay. Paula, you've always been in Tennessee, haven't you? So I went to a place today. I met these people doing an estate sale. They were doing an estate sale. I moved to Fairbanks, Alaska right out of high school with the Air Force. You were in the Air Force? I'm waiting to hear if Jennifer was in the Air Force. I was in air traffic controller in the... Wow, Jennifer. I'll say thank you for your service, but holy camole, I don't picture you in the Air Force. I don't know who belongs in the Air Force. You're just so quiet and calm, and I just don't see you an Air Force kind of person. That's awesome. That is awesome. So I started telling you, I met this couple at an estate sale. They were doing an estate sale, and then they told me that they have this warehouse that they take all their stuff to after they do estate sales. And then I had him come out and look at my mom's stuff, but it wasn't enough for them to do the estate sale. She didn't have enough stuff because their warehouse isn't anywhere near. And so she sends me texts every once in a while when they open up their warehouse to do like sales for all the stuff in their warehouse. And I'm looking to see if Ephraim brought it in. Hey, Eve, did you bring in the stuff from the estate sale stuff that I bought? Did you bring in the trinkets from what I bought? Okay, thanks. So we went today to their warehouse. I didn't get much, but let me flip you around. Look at this Santa. Isn't he funny looking? And he's sitting, and he's got elf shoes on. But look at this face. It's a real old face. So I'm gonna put him like on a bench or something. Then I got this, what do you call it, a jar, bristle brush jar, I don't know, one of these, but it had the snowflakes in it. And then I got this really cute Christmas tree. It's like the resin for $1. Kringle Village Holly Christmas tree from 2001. So it's considered vintage. And I got this cute ornament. Isn't that cute? It's glass. I love the big round Santa. And I don't know why, but I have this thing for nutcrackers. Oh, I just took his hair off. Nutcracker. I gotta fix his hair. I just took a piece off. A little nutcracker. And look at this precious figurine. Isn't that adorable? It's really heavy. So I got those. They were like $1 each. And he was only $3. No, he was 12. But it was 12 and 20%, 25% off, or 40% off. This was $3. And this was $1, and it still had 20% off. This was $1. Each of these were $1. So, and then I was offering to give these away. These are Wedgwood plates. I didn't sell them in my booth for 2 years, and I don't have space for them, so I was looking to get rid of them. My daughter doesn't want them. None of my kids want them. I can't sell them. I'm like, ugh. Just want to get rid of them. Nobody wants them. I couldn't give them away, guys. Do you have a video on, because I met you later on, like way later on. Like we recently met. I'm going back to read the messages here. Yeah, the round Santa does remind me of the one in Rudolph. I actually, we're Jewish, so I have a lot of Hanukkah stuff I put out, but I put out tons of snowmen. Oh, I asked, do you have a video that you put out? Like, do you have an older video of your story? Mike says you have a great story. And I was wondering, because you and I recently met, more recently met, and I was wondering if any of your old videos, if you have a story about your past of being in the Air Force or meeting your husband or anything. Yeah, Paula, I don't typically decorate. Oh, Sally, I haven't seen you in forever. You know how I am. My outside is going to have pumpkins probably until like March or something. Oh, I'll have to share some of my traditions. My daughter married a Catholic gentleman, so their wedding was both. We had a rabbi and a deacon. Actually, Ryan's uncle had just become a deacon, so he married them with the rabbi. So that was kind of cool. Yes, we do, Sally. Yes, I do. So yeah, when I decorate for Hanukkah, I kind of don't bring it up a lot. I just don't bring up religion or anything like that. Much. Not that Hanukkah is religion, but it digs deeper in for people to ask a lot of questions, I guess is what I'm saying. But I like to decorate. I usually have snowmen all over my house. I made this cart. Where is it? I made this cart, and it never ever sells in my booth, so I just brought it home. Where is it? Okay, so it's a wagon, okay? And I made this wagon, and it's got the handles, and I put a little wheel on the front, and it's seasonal, so like I'll put tons of like big balls in there, snowballs, and I'll put phony snow in it, and then I put a snowman at the end. I usually have a scarecrow over there now, and then so I have it for the winter. I have snowmen, and then I will put for spring, I put spring flowers in there. And so in 4th of July, and it's for every season, and I only have a price tag of $25, and it usually comes with the snowman, and it comes with everything in it. And I made like the candy corn. I made this candy corn. He has grass on him from being in here. But like I made a lot of the stuff that goes in here. Oh, I filled this pumpkin, like I made him an arrangement, you know. But Debbie Sue, your sister, could make this. It's a crate, just a small crate, and then paint stick handles, blocks for the back, and a round disc for the front. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's really super easy, and it's super cute, you know, wheelbarrow. But nobody ever buys it, so I just brought it home to put it up. So yeah, see, I do my pumpkins and my holiday stuff. Sorry it's not lit up. I usually have it lit up. Hold on. I have tons of hippos. Let's see. Hippo. That was my daddy. I made the frogs out of resin. Each one represents my girls. I made the candy corns. And I made these pumpkins this year. It looks like faux leather. It feels like leather. Made the pumpkins. And I did this one as orange. So that was my craft this year. But yeah, so I just have like pumpkins all over the house. My husband did this scene with his laser printer. Isn't it pretty? And I painted it. So he's doing those. And I have more of my, like I did this truck. And I made the pumpkins, wood pumpkins, and decorated these pumpkins. And Dora would like this for her Day of the Dead. And just some stuff that I bought. Oh, Hannah made this out of Legos. And I got her in 2020, and so somebody put a mask on her. So that's how we decorated her for 2020. Oh, there's the scarecrow that goes on the wagon that I didn't get on. And I haven't had the heart to sell my bears, guys. Remember when I got these in a estate sale haul? I just couldn't sell them. They're just sitting in this little rocking chair. But and I have this little Santa still. I have to do something with it. I got to decorate it, put it in I think I'm going to put it in this container, which everybody loves these spode containers with the Christmas tree on it. And I think I'm going to set his round rump in the container and maybe put those bottle brush trees around him. I don't know, I'll decorate it. But I really appreciate all you being around and listening to me. Yes, that was Harry Potter. I'm not very familiar with Harry Potter, but yes, that was a Harry Potter. Thank you, Jennifer. I really enjoy your house. Like all those lights in the, it just looks so peaceful. Like I just want to come on over and tuck myself in one of your little windows and just look outside. I really do. Oh yeah, Jennifer, have you met Rosani? Rosani is my new friend. She does some really awesome artwork. She does a lot of paper mache and has got me wanting to do it, but I'm holding my breath because I have so many projects I have to get done. Oh, Jennifer, I put out my Coke bottles and I was thinking of you when I did it, but look what I still have to put out. I have holiday Coke bottles. I thought of you when you made the comment about Coke bottles, but I have these glasses. They're from, what year were these? I only got them for $1, but I'm gonna sell them for $15 easily. I don't know what year these were. I wanna say in the late 70s, early 80s. And I have the Coke bottles that match them. My dog has got to go out again. Well, guys, I'm not going to keep you. Not going to keep you much longer. I just really appreciate you being here for me so I could vent and get that out of my system. And now I've got to take care of my dog again. Yes, very nostalgic, Jennifer. And I know you made the comment in one of my videos about Beamer. Stop. Go potty. About the Coke bottles, the vintage Coke bottle. And so I have the matching glasses to go with it. Thank you, Jennifer. I love you too, and think about you every day and hope everything's going well for you. Those are the important things in life. Having somebody get mad at me for something I did 50 years ago is just not worth it to me, but it still hurt my feelings. Thank you, Debbie Sue. Love you too. Hugs to everybody. And Paula, if you're still there, I miss you. I finally was so excited to get notice that you were up. Thanks for your comments tonight, Mike. I appreciate it. And Jennifer, thank you. And go look for the picture I posted of my eagle when I was in Alaska. And who else? I want to recognize Rosani. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Sally, yes, let's call this week. Let's get a call on so I can explain that to you. And everybody else, just thank you so much. Love you all. Have a great week. And I will be putting up a video about the gurus in my life. You're all gurus. Love you. Bye.